Oh, shit! Way to trust the floor, Brian.
This boy is my son. Technically, he's the kid we picked up. He's 12, not like other kids, freakishly strong, can toss a lawnmower like it's nothing, like he's built of steel and ordinary machines can't hurt him. 10 years ago, we saw him inside an alien ship and took him in. As he grew up, he started doing weird stuff, twitching like something was calling him. One night, he got up and jumped off the windowsill. The noise pulled me out. I followed it to the shed and found him kneeling by the cellar, ripping at the lock with a crazy look. I called his name and crept closer, and he snapped back, terrified, asking how he got there. So I just hugged him and tried to calm him. The next day, his mood flipped. One moment so violent he felt like a stranger. The next so quiet it was downright scary. And he always seemed the last to notice his own changes. The alien ship in the cellar started flashing a strange red light and pulled him back, and he tore the chain off in one yank. When I got there, his body was hovering midair, and he was mouthing weird words like he was part of some ritual. I threw myself at him, and just as I was about to touch him, the red light vanished. He fell onto the ship and cut his hand. It was his first injury in 10 years, and when he asked where the ship came from, I had no words. That night, he went to the girls' room to apologize, but she said her mom told her not to talk to him, and that pissed him off. The restaurant where the woman worked had strange symbols all over the glass. Then the lights flickered. As she stepped forward, a tube light overhead exploded. Glass slashed her eye. She hid in the storeroom, and when the lasers hit the iron door, it was cut like paper. She was shaking when she saw someone cloaked with a weird helmet hovering outside. The next day, the police came and found that weird symbol on the glass. That night, he showed up in front of a man driving. The man felt the danger, but the car wouldn't start and slowly lifted off the ground. And after it was over, he left his symbol and walked home like nothing happened. I asked him where he'd been and why he was so late. He said he'd been playing ball with classmates, but when I went to deal with his dirty clothes, his behavior made it obvious he was lying.
Obviously. I told you if we don't do something, this is gonna get worse.
What the fuck do we do?
The next morning, Dad found the blood-stained clothes from the night before in his room while he was in the shower, then angrily demanded to know where he'd been. And during the fight, the boy shoved Dad away. I told him to go upstairs and cool off. And afterwards, my husband and I were crushed. But he wasn't human, and instead of waiting for him to lose control, we decided it was better to get rid of him. We planned to take him out hunting the next day and use the chance to do it. Just after my husband and he left, the sheriff showed up and handed me a photo of the crime scene symbol, which freaked me out because I remembered seeing that same pattern in a sketchbook my son had. I ran to his room, grabbed the book from his backpack, and sure enough, it had the same creepy symbol and even a detailed drawing of how the crime went down. I wanted to call my husband to tell him to be careful, but the voice on the other end of the line was the kid's. Me husband waited until he wasn't looking, aimed a gun at his head and pulled the trigger. But the boy walked away, unhurt. My husband froze, and the boy got up and looked at his dad with a puzzled face. Dad started to chamber another round, but when he raised the gun, the boy vanished. Me husband sensed danger and tried to run, but he was suddenly knocked down. By then, our son had gone completely dark, and despite Dad's desperate begging, he chose the cruelest way and ended his life. Hearing that over the phone, I guessed my husband was dead, and I knew for sure I was next. Suddenly, the whole house slammed, and I dove under a cabinet, watching a black shape dart through the rooms. I picked my moment and dropped out the window, but cut my hand, which made me think of the ship in the cellar. So I ran down, pried a metal shard off the craft, then found him and slowly earned his trust. We hugged tight, and when the moment felt right, I slipped out the shard, but at the last second, he saw through me. Then he lifted us into the sky and let go of my hand. A plane passed nearby, and he took control of it, crashing it into our farm, perfectly crafting the explanation for my husband's and my deaths. And he ended up the only survivor of the whole thing.